Shalom everyone, this is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from Matthew chapter 19, and I'm going to be reading verses 13 and 14 from the Tree of Life version. Then the little children were brought to Yeshua, so that he might lay hands upon them and pray. Then the disciples rebuked those who brought them, but Yeshua said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Now, it's always been coupled, that verse, it says, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." It's always been the implication that we, as believers in Messiah Yeshua, believers in the one true God, the God maker of heaven and earth, the God of Israel, that we must come to him and have faith and trust in him like a little child. Now, I remember growing up, I believed my dad was the strongest. I believed that there wasn't nothing that he couldn't do. I had total trust and total faith in him. I believed him. I trusted him with my very life. If my dad said that he hung the moon, I would have believed it. If my dad said he invented television, I would have believed it. If my dad said that he could jump over a mountain, I would believe it. It was that childlike trust and that childlike faith, because I didn't know any better. It wasn't until my dad failed me somehow. It wasn't until my parents failed in some way to keep a promise or to, make good on something they said, or when I for the first time saw that he really couldn't do something or he really wasn't the strongest, that's when my faith was shaken. And so, we have trust issues because we're human beings and because our parents are representatory of God. When our parents fail, we automatically put that failure up on God, thinking, well, if our parents fail, then God must fail. And because human beings, we fail each other all the time. We break our promises. We don't live up to expectations. We screw up and mess up and make mistakes and let each other down. That constant human interaction of failure causes our faith to be shaken and us not have such a firm foundation in the supernatural and in the things that we cannot see. But that's what faith is all about, believing in things that we cannot see. And we cannot put these earthly limitations and trust issues upon God because our human parents let us down, or our family and friends let us down, or failed us in some way, shape, or form, because God is beyond that. He is not fallen, frail, finite human being. He is infinite. He is beyond anything, and we still need to maintain that childlike faith and believe that God can do anything because he can. So it says, the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these, referencing that the little children were to have that childlike faith. And that's so hard for us adults who are logical, critical-minded, analytically minded grown-ups and human beings. And when we've experienced failure from others and other people, it's so hard for us to maintain that childlike faith. And God purposely allows us to be put in situations where that faith is tested, where he is calling us back to a childlike faith. And we're thinking, God, I'm up against a wall. I'm painted in a corner. I see no way out. I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't see any way how this is going to end well or end good. And then that's when God says, "Do you trust me? I'm your father. Do you trust me?" It's like that first time when Dad was at the bottom of the steps and I was at the top of the steps. He reached out his arms and said, "Jump. Jump from the top flight of the steps." And I did. Totally believing and trusting that he would catch me and he wouldn't let me fall. And when we're put in situations where our faith is tested, it's as if God is holding out his arms saying, "Jump. I will catch you. I promise. Do you trust me?" And all we see is a black chasm, an abyss. We see an impossible expanse that needs to be crossed. And we don't, we lack the faith. And it's back to that earnest prayer, "Lord, I believe, but help thou my unbelief." And when I make daily droshes like this, I'm preaching to myself because I need to be reminded of these things just as much as anybody else, because my faith is shaken and tested many times when a crisis or a problem arises that I never thought of or anticipated, and I don't see a positive end. I'm sure the children of Israel didn't see a positive end when they were at the shore of the Red Sea. until the water parted and they were able to cross. And then they saw light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes God allows us to wait until we're at the very edge and everything seems impossible, and then he comes through. And it's that belief, that childlike faith. Oh Lord, give that childlike faith to us all. Help us to have that childlike faith, to trust and believe in you no matter what. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Shalom, Shavua Tov. Go out there and have a great day.
Hey guys, do you want to know all the dirt on Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda ben Shomer? Then check out the Raw Confessionals. Maybe my dirt can help you stay clean.